Creativity. Well, I think when I think about creativity, for me, it's really about the ability to express myself the way I feel things are moving through me and getting them down some kind of way. So whether I whip out some paint or do a collage or I'm writing or whatever, it's or with my camera, it's just that ability to give freedom of expression to what I have to offer or what I need to say. Anytime that I am working, there's some sort of spirit moving through me, and I allow myself to give into whatever that spirit might be. So let's say I'm sitting down to do a collage. I can sit down at the table and nothing can happen. Or I can sit down and as I'm moving pieces or looking at paper or whatever I've cut out in front of me, something and something is speaking to me from somewhere, and then things begin to take shape, and I just go with it. I don't question it. I don't try to figure out what's happening. It's just a marriage of pieces of paper until they form something in front of me, and to me that is just purely spirit moving. It's not contrived, it's not planned. I don't plan anything, and it sort of moves over into my photography the same way. When I'm out with the camera, it's a meditation for me. Not all the time, but a lot of the time when I have the camera out and I'm walking, it's a meditation. So I allow things to call out to me. I don't always go in search of this great photo. As I'm walking, I'm very mindful of my surroundings all the time. So all of my senses are at play. So I may smell something before I see it. I may hear something before it comes. And then it's like, okay, like in the movie, when Norma Desmond says, I'm ready for my close up. I feel that way when I'm particularly out in nature because I want to capture the essence of something right down to the minute thing it is. So I will stand and watch a flower for a while, but I may never capture the entire bloom. I'm on to one specific thing about the blossom because it's trying to tell me something. And to me, that's being connected to your inner soul and spirit and to the universe as it's coming towards you. I'm not a person who works with themes in mind. To me, I could walk out with a camera and go to a garden, but I may not take a picture of a flower because the stones beneath me are talking to me as opposed to the flowers. So I may set out thinking, oh, I'm going to shoot flowers today, and then all of a sudden I'm shooting sidewalks and something else because there's something else that's happening. Like recently, I was out with the camera and I have passed this tree a million times. I shoot this one garden near the Smithsonian a lot. So I see this tree and it's got this really peely bark that sort of kind of freaked me out before. And so this particular morning, it was like, I need you to see me. I need you to see me. And I stopped and spent time shooting various different places on this tree with the bark peeling. Now, I got to tell you, I got home, I started editing, and I'm not sure where that's going, but there's something there. I have to wait for the moment when it's ready to reveal itself, and then it will. So I didn't go out with the intention of shooting bark on a tree. That's what spoke to me that day. And it's the same thing with collaging. I've been collaging really my entire life. I mean, I didn't just start doing the kinds of collage work I'm doing now, but there's never a thing that dictates what I have to do. Because I think when you put limitation, for me anyway, As soon as I put a limitation on something, then things don't happen for me. So I'm open and free for what is going to happen and what's going to come. And I'm just ready to receive it. I stay ready to receive what's coming to me. Processes for me, because I'm a self-taught artist, I'm a self-taught photographer. I can't say, I'm a self-taught writer, but I've been writing since I was 6. I've been collaging for a really long time, but in different ways. And how I got to a very specific kind of collaging was when I was taking my arts and healing certification down in Florida back in about 2004, 2005. And we had to sit through class in the morning, and in the afternoon we had to do something, which was my favorite thing. So one day we were asked to give a list. We were asked a bunch of questions. What's your favorite color? What's your favorite season of the year? If you were born in any other time of the year, when would that be? And we, answered all the questions, and I wrote all my answers down, and then we were supposed to write a narrative. But somehow or another, I wrote my list, and then I wrote my narrative on the other side of the page. And when I looked at it, there was a shape between these two columns. So when class broke, I got in the car, found a Michael's, got a whole bunch of supplies, grabbed some magazines, went back to my hotel room, and this spell was moving me forward to, what is this that I'm seeing between these two columns? And so I began to paste, and this shape was coming, and I looked at it towards when it was getting towards the end, and I could tell it was the profile of a female. She had a defined belly. She had a defined rear. And I got to the point of where I was trying to figure out, well, there's a breast shape, but I didn't have anything that was meaning or felt like a breast to me until I found a picture of dim sum, and I pasted it down, and sort of the spell broke, and I was finished. And she was telling me, that she was this goddess figure. And I still was like, okay, great. This was great. So I went to class the next day. I was excited. I was showing everybody, and everybody loved it. And, that was sort of the end to me as far as I was concerned. So I get home from these classes, and the person that I was dating at the time looked at it and said, "Are you going to do any more of these?" And I was like, do more of what? That was class. That wasn't even for class. It just happened. I'm not do it. And, things just happen. And I found myself, I would be looking at a catalog, and I started tearing stuff out. I throw it on the table, And then one day, the table called me and said, "You need to sit down. I need you to do something." And the next one came. And then the next one came, and I'm like, what is this? There was, talking about spirituality, there was something moving through me that kept saying, you do need to do more. I have more stories. You've got more stories. I'm currently working on a collage project that, once again, I sat down to the table and started working a lot in color. The goddesses have evolved over the years into not just being torsos and pieces of bodies, but sometimes they're full bodies, and now they're sort of the head of a body. And I sit down to work on that, and I started working, and every color piece would not, it almost like slapped itself out of my hand. And I was guided to start working just in black and white with a very undertone of color. And I created this magnificent head, quite frankly. It's just really, really something. And I was really pleased with it. So I photographed it, and people have seen it enlarged in a photograph, and just it really looks incredibly enlarged. I fell into this place where I thought I wanted to be a pediatrician. And that did not work out for various different reasons, but I finally, wanted to get involved with kids again and wanted to volunteer at the hospital locally. So I called and I wanted to just go in and teach them how to keep a journal and make a journal, because I was really into journaling at that point in time. So I Children's Hospital, now it's Children's National Health System. I came to arts and healing in a very natural sense, and then ended up in a position, or I don't say ended up, I was led to come here to get that position, to really immerse myself and understand the impact of how arts really impact our process. It is very important, particularly in a healing environment or a hospital environment, to have artwork that looks great or that is comforting in a way, to have an environment that is comforting, and having arts in the mix, be that, and I say all the cultural arts, because that involves visual arts, it involves writing, it involves music. It's very, very therapeutic, because once you surrender to, I hate to use the word process, but surrender to the creative thing that's calling you, you don't focus so much on what your pain is. I have spent a really long time really trying to demystify labels. Labels that intimidate people, labels that keep people from even looking into their creative self or afraid of their creative self. Sit down with something and just whatever calls to you, whatever you think you like, just do it. It's it, if you get yourself a journal, some paper, nobody's grading that. You don't even have to show it to anybody. To me, although I create and I want other people to love it, I'm more enamored with my stuff than anything, because I love what I'm saying on the paper. Whether that's a written paper, whether that's a collage paper, whether that's a photograph, it's my expression. And you can't allow someone to take your voice, because to me, when I'm creating, that is my voice. That is my voice. I refuse to not be heard. And I want to hear you. So don't let someone stifle what you have to say. Just be you and do it.